Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday, September 7th, 10 a.m. weather briefing. Across the region yesterday, another fairly seasonable day for at least much of the area, except for our northern stations where the cold front that moved through the local region moved through earlier. You can see Baltimore and nation's capital hit 68 degrees for their high temperature, but that was early on in the morning, and the temperature actually fell throughout the day here at Wallops. We got up to a high of 81 degrees. The warmest temperature was 85 degrees at Norfolk. Fairly comfortable night last night. Baltimore seeing the coolest temperature at 56 degrees here at Wallops. We were a seasonable 62 degrees, and then all stations reporting precipitation yesterday. Newport News, the big winner, at 2.68 inches of rain, and then two other stations seeing above an inch of rainfall yesterday, with Ocean City at 1.8 inches and here at Wallops 1.06 inches. Currently across the region, we do have mostly cloudy skies across the eastern shore and also down in the Tidewater region, areas west of the Chesapeake Bay, and also to our north seeing more generally sunny skies. And this cloud cover is quickly eroding this morning, and we should average out sunny skies through the remainder of the day. So look at our upper air sounding from this morning. A westerly wind at 7 knots at the 1,000-foot level, and then more of a southwesterly component as we go through the atmosphere. We have our wind max right now out of the southwest at 98 knots. Freezing level this morning was at 7,700 feet. Our current satellite radar imagery showing the cloud cover associated with the cold front continuing to push offshore. We do have some lower level cloudiness not showing up on the IR image too well, but I do have a good amount of low level cloudiness across the area, but it's quickly eroding, and again we'll be averaging out sunny skies as we head into the later portions of this morning and into the afternoon. Current surface analysis depicting that cold front continuing to push offshore, still maintaining a very strong Bermuda high well off the eastern seaboard over the central Atlantic, and we do have high pressure that is building into the area and will remain over the region, providing us with some fairly pleasant and unseasonably cool conditions over the next several days, with high temperatures really going to be averaging out in the lower to mid 70s. Today will be a little bit warmer than the next couple of days, as should rise up into the mid to upper 70s before the cooler air really starts to settle in over the area. So for our Thursday midday planner, high pressure building in, those low level cloud cover scouring out and averaging out sunny skies with again high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Mostly clear night tonight with temperatures dropping down into the upper 50s, and then a fairly pleasant start to our day on Friday. High pressure continuing overhead and continuing into Friday PM with high temperatures in the mid 70s. And then as we head into Saturday, Hurricane Irma looks to start. They'll begin to see the impacts of Hurricane Irma in Miami late Saturday night into Sunday morning before landfall. Looks like will be overnight Saturday into Sunday into early Sunday morning. So as we look at our 24-hour risk chart here, we are going to be green across the board in terms of our hazards, and we do have winds that are beginning to increase slightly out of the west-northwesterly direction. Right now about 5 to 10 knots, but should see a west wind at 7 to 12 knots, maxing out at about 8 to 13 knots out of the west as we head into the middle portions of this afternoon. Our high temperature will rise to around 77 degrees today under mostly sunny skies, and then clouds pretty much just clear out of here by this evening. Should see clear skies with temperatures dropping down into the upper 50s. We'll have an overnight low tonight of 58 degrees. Our average low for this time of year is in the mid 60s, so fairly pleasant and unseasonably cool conditions setting the stage for us tonight with some light winds under clear skies. Do have MVFR conditions currently, but we should see those clouds quickly scour out this morning. I think that low level's already become scattered just after this briefing, and we'll see those clouds continue to erode as we go throughout this morning and into the afternoon. Over the next couple days, Friday sunny and pleasant with a high of 75 degrees. Friday night mostly clear and unseasonably cool with a low of 56 degrees. And then for Saturday, mostly sunny with continued pleasant conditions and a high of 73 degrees. 7-day forecast continuing to show unseasonably cool and pleasant conditions continuing throughout the weekend with high pressure overhead. And then with Irma looking like it'll be moving up into the southeastern United States, potentially making landfall again in the Georgia, South Carolina area, and then pushing into the Tennessee Valley. We could see our pressure gradient tightening over the region with high pressure just to our north, and it looks like we'll be in wind advisory limits pretty much all day on Monday, with a high temperature of around 71 degrees with that onshore flow and increasing cloudiness as well. And then Tuesday, as the Irma becomes extratropical and this pretty much gets wrapped up into an upper level system, we'll see some showers potentially moving into the region on Tuesday. Can't rule out the chance that we might see some heavier rainfall on Tuesday, and also some breezy conditions with a high temperature of 74 degrees. And then Wednesday, there's a little bit of model discrepancy as well in terms of the timing of the rainfall. It looks like it'll happen on Tuesday, though, is what I'm forecasting, with Wednesday drying out under partly sunny skies and a high temperature of 78 degrees. Speaking of Irma, we do have Irma just passed north of Puerto Rico last night and is continuing to move northward of the Dominican Republic today. And we'll see, excuse me, this track will continue on a west-northwesterly direction as the strong Bermuda high continues to influence its steering flow, and will continue to progress that west-northwesterly direction throughout the day today and into this weekend before this ridge actually begins to break down and will allow Irma to either make the turn right before Florida, or it'll make landfall, it looks like, in Miami, and then make its turn to the east and progress along the Florida coastline, and then potentially making landfall once again in either Georgia or South Carolina. And that seems like a pretty good bet, as the models have pretty much come into a quite a good consensus in terms of the later portions of the track. The real question is whether or not we make a direct impact on Miami or not, and that still remains to be seen, as there are a lot of variables at play in terms of the ridge, the ridge off the coast, the upper level trough that will be sitting over the eastern United States, and also energy that will be diving down into the western United States, which will ultimately determine the end track for Irma. Behind Irma, we do have Hurricane Jose, which will be following behind Irma, but will end up getting trapped in between Irma and also the Bermuda high. So it'll actually stall and just sit here for a little bit before it actually gets picked back up, and could potentially actually loop back around and go into Florida as well. But that is one of the very many scenarios for Jose. But right now, it doesn't look to be an impact for us. Could potentially be something for Bermuda, but we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. The National Hurricane Center does have Irma as a Category 5 hurricane with 180 mile per hour sustained winds and wind gusts much above that minimum central pressure at 921 millibars, and then a west-northwesterly track at 17 miles per hour. The official National Hurricane Center forecast, again, taking Irma as a Category 3 hurricane into Miami and then riding along the Florida east coastline and into South Carolina, which does look like a general model consensus in that track this morning and also overnight. So we're actually starting to see more consistency in the models, which is good, considering we haven't seen that in a while with this system. The models, the global model guidance for this system, have actually tracked a little bit more eastward, considering from the 6Z runs this morning that we saw at the 8:15 weather briefing. They are skirting it along the Florida coastline and missing that direct impact on Miami, but it's still going to be a very dangerous situation for that area, as it'll be moving overhead or just east of Miami, and then pushing it into southeastern South Carolina, and then again getting wrapped up into an upper level system, and then providing us with some precipitation for the local Wallops area early next week. But we'll continue to monitor Irma for any changes in its track and influences on our local area, and we'll be back with those updates tomorrow morning at 8:15 for the Daily Ops weather briefing. Have a great day.